I'm back to interrupt your usual social media hive mind to talk about how Huda is a professional victim and actually one of the most problematic house guests this season. Huda, once again tonight, proved what I've been saying all along, that she is a professional victim. She laid on the couch, waiting for someone to feel bad for her, and then when Amaya tried to point it out, she further played the victim and didn't want to talk about it. But of course, when Chelley didn't want to talk about her issues with Huda, that was a big deal to Huda as well. Once again, it's like Huda could do something, but if anybody else does it, it's a major problem. And that's been the social media hype man these past several days, with Chelley especially getting total unnecessary hate. And Olandria got caught up in it. And then as this episode starts off, Huda and Chelley making up, Huda and Olandria making up. The fan base has gotten toxic. The show has grown too big. And this is what happens with reality TV fans. As someone who has covered Big Brother for many years now, y'all are many years behind on this, where social media has this toxic influence where they cling on to someone on the show and that person can do no wrong even though they're always doing something wrong, like Huda has done all season. Unfortunately, I I fear as though this is going to continue to happen the rest of the season, and I don't know. I'm pretty over. I've been over the season for a long time. It peaked at Nick Olandria, and it's been spiraling down a hill since. I hated tonight's challenge, and I'm going to get back to Huda, but I hated tonight's challenge because it was stupid. I still think the Twitter challenge would have been much better. Yeah, the producers can pick what tweets they want onto the show for the cast to see. But this voting style was truly just a popularity contest. You could ask the questions, but both questions were kind of the same answers from this country that doesn't know how to vote. And so I think some people got some unnecessary lashings. People were upset with Chelley over the Huda shit, so she was the bottom of a lot of things. I mean, Ace and Taylor were. Some of their hate has been. I understand it. I was glad that Taylor was at the bottom the entire night, even with the couples. But on the other side of the coin, I feel like Clarke just got her lashings because she's with Taylor and stuck in Taylor's shit. And the irony is that over these last couple days, after Olandria brought up some of Huda's secrets to the group, which was stupid of Olandria. Of course, in recent days, people are like, "Oh, Taylor was standing on business. Taylor really was." That's how I imagine the fallow whites on social media sound. Taylor was standing on business. He wasn't. I pointed that out in the last video. You're not standing on business if you're being forced in front of a group to finally tell the truth that you've been lying about for weeks. That's not standing on business. Amaya does stand on business because she will say shit to your face. That's standing on business to me. And I think just in general, that is standing on business, is telling the truth to people's faces when it's time to tell the truth to people's faces, not 4 weeks later. So Taylor got the lashings that he rightfully deserved. But the challenge overall sucked ass. Now, the elimination process was the only good part of the episode. It was highly dramatic, and a lot of people finally got the boot. It came down to the guys, Austin and Taylor, and TJ had the least amount of votes. And then on the women's side are two women whose names I don't even remember. Grayson, Jaden maybe, and then Andrina, sadly. And the people could only save one person. Of course, Taylor has his supporters in Nick and Ace, so he was always going to have an advantage. Sierra was one of the people to join on voting for Taylor to stay, which was eye roll worthy. I don't know if Sierra is truly worried about Olandria not have a wandering eye from Taylor, or if she just wanted to vote with her man like a pick me. I don't know what Sierra's problem is, but she's a Libra, so it was probably something that has to do with being fake. um, no offense to other Libras out there. I get along well with Libras, but it's true. Uh, in the end, Taylor did stay. TJ goes home. Iris, of course, very saddened. I know they had quite a little fan base growing on TikTok. I'm sure they are shattered tonight. I thought TJ and Iris actually had a chance to win this season despite getting zero airtime. You could tell that production didn't care at all about that couple, the little bit of screen time that they had. So to me, it's no surprise that TJ was actually eliminated tonight, despite he and Iris seeming to have something on a season with literally no couples. Love Island, where couples got to make the end to have a vote, and we have no couples outside of Nick and Sierra and kinda Chris and Huda and kinda Ace and Chelley. That's about it. On the Amaya side of things, I had some comments on my last video that Amaya is like Huda, and she's like Huda in the fact that she cries way too much. This is true, but Huda's tears to me aren't weaponized for manipulation whatsoever. She's not trying to make the girls and the guys care about her more like Huda does. In fact, the guys clearly can't stand Amaya. So there's that. Huda to me likes to start shit and then try and hide about it. And we see it again with this. She's the one that wrote about Pepe and Grayson in the secret challenge and didn't want to say it was her. And then she goes and tells Chris, and then she says she doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore. But then she does secret stuff like that makes her the bad guy and not standing on business. And so I'm just so sick of this victim complex that you all on social media are falling for with Huda. I fell for it at 1.2 because Jeremiah was a part of the problem with the he and Huda situation. He thought he felt way too much about what the other guys thought about him and wouldn't stand his own ground sometimes. But Huda was the stage 5 clinger, and Huda was the one that would crash out, calling Jeremiah out of his name, calling the bombshells that would come in out of their names. And that's apparently totally okay. But if anyone has anything to say about Huda now, it's the end of the world. And I am over it. The parallels to Big Brother are becoming very bad quickly for this show. Because on Big Brother, they had several seasons where production dropped the ball with casting, dropped the ball with twists, dropped the ball with just bad production decisions in general. Sound familiar to this season? It should, because it's all very much true to this season. I thought maybe the only good thing it had going for it was the cast overall has not been racist like those bad seasons of Big Brother. Yes, someone got eliminated from the very beginning, but that's something Big Brother would probably not have done in the past. It was kick someone off the show for something they said on a podcast that was racist. Now we have Sierra. She said something racist in a post once, so that's coming out as well. But I'm talking about like on the season, I don't think that there is like some racist issues between the cast. However, it seems as though the racism is going to come from social media. So it does still have parallels to Big Brother because the voting and this making Chelley out to be this villain, this angry black woman, it's asinine. You all dropped the ball there, and it's just no wonder why this country can't vote right. You are the problem. This country is the problem. You all lack simple thinking skills, and this episode proved it to me because what happens at the beginning of the episode, Amaya has this fight with Zak because she once again rightfully calling out Zak, which is what I still think is the difference between Amaya and Huda. Whereas Huda will do something bad and then will play the victim with her tears. Amaya gets called out in front of everyone. Zak joins in when he could have and should have said this in public. He's the oldest guy in that damn house, close to my age. Like, Zak, you want to join in with the guys because you're kind of a pussy just like them, despite being the oldest guy in the house. Like, grow up. He should have had this conversation with Amaya in private. He didn't. So she was 100% right. I'm glad she got mad at him and said, I never want to talk to you again. But America, of course, fell for them when the voting for this game was out a few days ago. And so they were very high on the votes. Zach was high on the votes. Them as a couple were high on the votes. So at the beginning of this episode, Amaya and Zak falling apart. At the end of the episode, they're voted like the best couple. Well, the couple you want to go on a vacation with or some shit by America. Because America doesn't know how to vote. And so now if Zach tries to get back with Amaya, tries to play nice, we know it's bullshit because Zach now sees that Amaya is popular with America. I did like that Amaya and Brian had a talk. Brian was the only person that stuck up for Amaya an episode ago. They have things in common with their background. It would be good of Brian to try and make that happen, because I do think they can win this show despite being a couple for 1 week at the end of the season, because of the way the season's gone, with it being Loveless Island and the way the voting is now going. That about sums up my thoughts. I'm very glad Olandria seems to finally be done with Taylor, allegedly. She said that in the episode for once. She also didn't vote for him to stay, but he will be staying. And as much as I would have loved Taylor to go home, because fuck Taylor, I think that, I mean, if there's going to be a movie night, he kind of has to be around. Like, the only people that have anything dramatic in movie night is Chelley, Ace, barely them, by the way. Huda probably could have some stuff, I suppose. And then Olandria, Nick, Taylor. Well, Clarke too, because he said some things with Clarke about Taylor. So that's literally it for movie night, if they're even going to have a movie night. The clock is ticking. Are we getting last minute bombshells for this last week? We kind of have to, because people are left single now. It's a mess. A clusterfuck of a season continues, from production, from the cast. I don't know what else to say. The worst part of it has been social media over the past few days, though. You guys look like dummies supporting Huda. Just illogical feelings where she constantly fucks up, but it's fine. But if anybody else says something about her now, it's just the end of the world. It's very much what happens on Big Brother all the time. And on Big Brother, America doesn't have this much power. Thankfully, they can vote for some things sometimes. But having this much power, you guys just vote like shit. But it's not a surprise, because look at voting in this country.